Hello everyone and welcome to the Premier League Roundup, where we will be taking a look at all the action from the top flight of English football. Today we will be reviewing match week 1 of the 24-25 season, and we start by heading to Old Trafford, where Manchester United look to get their season started against Fulham. One of United's latest signings, Nott'm Mazraoui, made the starting lineup, with other new players such as Joshua Zirkzee and Matthijs de Ligt making the bench. Emile Smith-Rowe was in Fulham's starting 11 as he made his Premier League debut for the Cottagers. In the first half, the chances fell more for Manchester United, with Bruno Fernandes having 2 golden opportunities which were saved by Leno. United's dominance continued into the second half, but it wasn't until the 87th minute that Zirkzee put the 1-0 up after being subbed on in the 60th minute. It could have been 2 if not for Garnacho missing a near open net with one of the last kicks of the game. This meant that Man United won the first game of the 24-25 season, with their new signing Zirkzee the hero and player of the match. The first Saturday of the season saw 6 matches being played, the first of which was newly promoted Ipswich versus Liverpool. Kieran McKenna's Ipswich saw new signings in the starting 11 and on the bench, with most of the noise being around Calvin Phillips, who was an unused sub in this game. Arne Slot's Liverpool lineup was very familiar, as the Reds are still yet to make a signing in this transfer window. Ipswich made a good start to the game, having a good defensive shape which kept Liverpool largely quiet, as the Reds only had 3 shots in total in the first half. However, the second half was a totally different story, as Liverpool found a new gear as the chances started to pile up. Diogo Jota scored Liverpool's first goal after a fantastic piece of play, which was then followed up by a second from Salah, making their first league game under Arne Slot a 2-0 victory. First of the 3 o'clock kickoffs was Arsenal vs Wolves at the Emirates. Before the game, the stadium paid tribute to the late Kevin Campbell, who passed away at the age of 54 in the summer. Once the ball was rolling, it was Arsenal who struck first, after a header from Havertz in the 25th minute put the 1-0 up. Wolves fought back, however, as debutant Larsson forced an outstanding save from David Raya from a headed attempt. The game was still open in the second half, with both sides having chances, but after a quickly taken free kick, Bukayo Saka worked his magic to score Arsenal's second of the game and secure them their first 3 points of the season. Everton were hoping to start their final season in Goodison Park well against Brighton, after they'd had a few disappointing seasons in the top flight. Brighton's James Milner broke a record in this game, as he made an appearance in his 23rd season of the Premier League, hoping to help his side to victory. The home side started well with a few chances and even a goal, but this was eventually ruled off by VAR due to an offside on Jack Harrison. However, Brighton grew into the game by first hitting the post and then scoring a goal which was assisted by their new signing, Minter. Everton's bad luck continued in the second half, as they had a penalty shout denied by VAR. This was soon followed up by a second goal which was scored by Danny Welbeck. The Toffees were then reduced to 10 men as Ashley Young was sent off for the denial of a goal scoring opportunity. This was just before a third goal was put into the back of Jordan Pickford's net, emptying the stands. Brighton did score a fourth, however this was ruled off to an offside, leaving the scoreline at 3-0. We head to St James's Park next, as Newcastle took on newly promoted Southampton. This game had a fiery start, as Fabian Schär was sent off for a headbutting offence after a clash with Brereton Diaz. However, the 10 men of Newcastle were able to go in front after they capitalised on a mistake from the Southampton goalkeeper. The second half was incredibly tense, with Southampton having more of the possession. However, Newcastle were able to hold on to their 1-0 lead and secure their first win of the season. The last 3 o'clock kickoff saw Nottingham Forest take on Bournemouth at the City Ground. The game was brought to a halt very early on, as Murillo suffered a broken ankle after landing awkwardly from a headed challenge. He was stretchered off and is now on the road to recovery. Once the game restarted, Chris Wood put Forest 1-0 up after a shot from Yates was parried to the striker's feet by the Bournemouth goalkeeper. Bournemouth thought they'd levelled the game in the first half, but this goal was ruled off by VAR due to an offside. However, they did eventually get the leveller, as Semenyo was able to put the ball in the back of the net after an unfortunate mistake from the Forest defenders, leaving the game as a 1-1 draw. Saturday's final game was at the London Stadium, as West Ham and Villa battled for the points. Aston Villa made a very quick start to the game, as their new signing Onana headed in a corner in the 4th minute. The Hammers were able to draw level in the first half after Lucas Paqueta put a penalty away, making it anyone's game going into the second half. Just 10 minutes from the end, John Duran put Villa in front after a good move from the away side, earning them their first 3 points of the season and drawing the close to Saturday's fixtures. The Premier League action continued at 2 PM on Sunday as Brentford played Crystal Palace. It was Palace who made the brighter start, as Eze scored a spectacular free kick. However, the goal was disallowed by the referee, and the decision could not be overturned by VAR, as the whistle had already been blown before the ball hit the back of the net. However, it was Brentford who took the lead first, as Mbeumo scored a brilliant goal midway through the first half. In the second half, Palace drew level, as Ethan Pinnock unfortunately put the ball into the back of his own net around 10 minutes after the restart. But it was Brentford who had the last lap, as Wissa forced the ball into the back of the Palace net, sealing a 2-1 win for the Bees. Sunday's half-4 kickoff saw a match between big spenders Chelsea and title defenders City. Inevitably, it was Erling Haaland who opened the scoring, as he was able to hold off Cucurella and net his first goal of the season. Man City kept up their pressure, with Chelsea rarely having a look in, and they were finally able to put them away with a great goal from former Chelsea player Mateo Kovacic. This sealed the first 3 points for the defending champions in the 24-25 season with a 2-0 win. Match week 1 was rounded off with the Monday night fixture between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham started the game really well, with some good chances coming their way. In the 29th minute, they took one of those chances as Pedro Porro scored a flicked header. The second half saw the tide shift a little as an unmarked Vardy headed in a goal for Leicester, drawing the game at 1-1. Bentancur suffered a head injury whilst attacking a corner in the game, which saw him stretch it off the pitch, and thankfully he is alert and well. This meant that the points were shared in the final game of the weekend as a 1-1 draw. So to summarise this week of football, here are all the results. And this is what it does to the Premier League table. Brighton take the top spot with their big win over Everton, with Arsenal, Liverpool and Manchester City just behind on goal difference. Towards the bottom of the table are Chelsea, Ipswich and Wolves, and at rock bottom are Everton. But of course there's only been one match played, and the table will probably look very different at the end of the season. Thank you very much for joining the Premier League Roundup, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. If you want to see more content from StatPack, then make sure to check out our Twitter profile to follow our matchday posts. You can also find more content on our TikTok and Instagram page. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.